Well, hello everyone, it is me, Scott. You know that guy that you occasionally stumble across here on YouTube? And man, do I have one hell of an interesting, I don't want to say story because it's going to sound fictional, but I definitely have something that I want to share with every single one of you out there that I still cannot quite put my finger on it. And I'm not talking about a coaster that I forgot my coffee, which is in the other room. It's just not been a good month. And why is that? And I thought in my almost 49 years of life, did I ever believe that I would share an experience with not only myself, personal friends, and even someone who I've gotten to know here on YouTube and other social media platforms as well, which is now unfortunately dealing with some experiences that, I have to be very careful. I have to do my best to filter on what I say because first of all, I want to make sure that I protect all names. No names will be mentioned in this video. In fact, no links in the description box will be shared in this video. Now, if you have been following me for a long time, that may shock you because there's probably not a video that's gone by where I had not shared a link in the description box. This one right here, absolutely no sharing at all whatsoever. I'm gonna leave it up to you to make that decision to watch this documentary that can be easily be found here on YouTube. The title alone, you'll probably be able to figure out how to find it. And if you haven't known how to use a search bar by now on YouTube, well, chances are you're just a toddler. So that's how easy it is to find pretty much anything here on YouTube. Anyways, last night, myself and this other YouTuber, we were preparing to sit down, basically do a hangout to discuss a documentary that I had watched about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I haven't even told him yet what I personally experienced emotionally and not really physically, but with, remember a key word, electronic devices. Just remember that, okay? That's important. Very important here. Very important. Well, anyways, like I said, I didn't say anything to him. I wanted it to be very fresh for him because, I mean, he had just watched this documentary with less than a week. I myself, like I said, had been about 3 or 4 weeks prior. So anyways, we're sitting down. I'm right in front of my computer, just like right here, right now, looking into a webcam. I was getting everything ready to go. I wasn't quite sure if we were going to have this on his channel or mine. But I communicated him through my phone, through Messenger, and we, whose channel is it going to be on? But anyways, we were going to basically upload it on both channels. So I went ahead and I started getting ready on YouTube here. And if you know how to do a live stream video, it's very simple. Even if you do a Google Hangout, it's very simple. It's just a different option on how you choose it. You go to live stream. You go to events, you click on going there, you check all your settings. Do you want it to go live? Do you want it to go public? Or do you want it to at least be a private file? The choices are there. There's tons of tutorials. I'm not going to get into it. If you don't know, if you're curious, like I said, there's tons of tutorials on how to do it. Well, anyways, we're at this point now where I'm at the Google Hangouts, and I'm simply trying to send this other YouTuber an invitation so we could both be on obviously a hangout. Well, for some reason he's not receiving it. Well, then he would try the same that I was doing and he would send, back and forth. We just were not having any luck. I mean, there's been a couple times where we were able to get in sync, but for some reason things weren't just working out. I mean, we couldn't even get it to start recording. Okay. Then we went to, let's try Skype, okay? Skype's very easy operating system to use. It's used all over the world. It's one of the most popular way of obviously choosing, like, say, a video conversation or talking to a loved one across the world or down the road or what. You guys know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Skype or FaceTime. We couldn't use FaceTime because, well, we both have different hardware, Anyways, it doesn't matter. We tried actually 3 different options, even the OBS and all that. And well, thankfully he had actually another program that he uses that he was able to capture what I'm doing, which is basically I'm using QuickTime Player and I'm recording this video right now. And I made sure that I recorded what I see right now. Pretty much down below the camera is a window, basically a monitor of what you're seeing right now. So he was able to get that in himself, and he basically captured that window, his screen, but I couldn't see him. I could hear him fine, but I couldn't see him. He could see me, so we just went with that. I mean, this was a good hour plus that we were trying to get this going. So we started off, like I said, he had just recently seen this documentary. I had seen it weeks prior, and I shared with him for the very first time what I'm sharing with you right now. Like I said, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I sat down in my own living room watching YouTube on my TV, which I'd say the majority of the videos that I watch on YouTube is on my TV. It's just easier that way for me. I just enjoy it. Well, this documentary that was shot, well directed, well produced by Zach Bagans. And by the way, I don't want any of you out there to think that I have anything against Zach Bagans. In fact, I would absolutely love to sit down and have a conversation with him about the experiences that he's had as a ghost investigator with all the paranormal research. He's had obviously so many questions, and I feel the same way. There's just things that I'll never mess with. I have my high beliefs on things, on what not to mess with, but I have a lot of questions, like so many of you out there, when it comes to the paranormal. I try not to mess with it, but still, there's always these questions in the back of my mind. Well, not to mention, there's one other thing that probably fascinates me more than anything else when it comes to Ghost Adventures is the camera equipment, all the cool toys that they use. That I would love to see as well. So, first of all, I really do, well, not first of all, but I want to make it very clear. This has absolutely nothing against Zach Bagans. On what he did with this. It was a choice that he made. He felt that he needed to share it. He did. In fact, in this documentary, and the very get-go, he makes it very clear that this documentary could very well be cursed. I mean, there's some things that happen that just are simply cannot be explained. And it's not just Zach Bagans who's made it clear. There's other people that are involved in this documentary that, well, more or less had felt these experiences that are, well, there's a lot to back it up on, okay? So we'll just leave it at that. So anyways, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, finally getting to my personal experience, I sat down, I watched this documentary, and then I want to say the next day or two, I started feeling not quite like myself. I was very aggravated. I was frustrated. I felt out of place, more or less depressed. Now, I thought about this carefully because pretty much all my life I have battled with depression, okay? I don't go around discussing that here on YouTube because let's face it, if I'm creating content videos, I'm not going to sit here and talk about depression because that's not my niche. I mean, if you have depression, please seek out for help, family or friends. Just don't ignore it. Depression is something that I think is still to this very day, 2019, that's not taken as seriously as it should be. But anyways, I was feeling depressed. Not the most depressed I've ever felt, but just all the negativity that I was feeling was right there. It just did not feel good. And I just, you know how it is. If you're having bad days or a bad week, you just feel like nothing can go right. Well, that's what it was pretty much feeling like. I'm an adult. These things happen. You take the good with the bad, etc., etc. Well, but it was the fact that I just didn't quite feel like me. That's the thing that really got my attention the most. And now, here it is, maybe the next day, I started to notice something that just frustrated the hell out of me. It's like, oh great, what could happen now? My phone, it's just a tool that I use, like so many of us use, your smartphones. And it's no pick on what device it is, Android or iPhone. You choose what works for you. That's all that matters, okay? It's like, no, you never hear anyone argue what type of toilet paper you use, just like you shouldn't argue what type of phone you choose to buy. It's your phone. You like it. That's all that matters. So I want to make it very clear. It has nothing to do with the type of hardware that I use, what type of software I use. Well, software you're pretty much... Anyways, for the very first time, this particular model, I've had it for a little over 2 years. It's an iPhone 7 Plus, okay? Last year, with iOS 11, the software system was horrible. Anyone who owns an iPhone or iPad or whatnot, they could tell you it was the worst software or operating system that Apple's ever had. It was just absolutely horrible. Well, when they upgraded to iOS 12, it was like, yes, finally, you guys are listening to us. Granted, it's nothing like it used to be in the very beginning where their software was like the king. It was the flawless, but iOS 12 was a huge improvement. So I've never had any problems with iOS 12. In fact, I figured, well, great. There's no sense of me buying a new phone because my phone is behaving like a new phone, okay? But, however, during this bad week of feeling not like myself and everything, what could go wrong now? My phone, now every morning, by the way, it's completely charged. I have it charged up on my nightstand. I use the alarm, so when I finally leave for work, doing the routine that I normally do, like we all do in the mornings, I guess, or night, it's at 100%. And usually by the time I come home, it's an average about 65%. Well, this one particular day, around 10:30, which I barely am on my phone anyways because I'm very active with my job, very busy through the majority of the day, I noticed that it was down to like 19%. 19%. Oh, that's not the end of the world, it's just a phone. But I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even touch the damn thing. So I reboot it. Okay, whatever. Next day, it's doing the same thing. I'm really frustrated. I'm already dealing with all this other whatever I can't explain. Depression, aggravation, frustration. More shuns most likely in there. But the phone does it again. We go to the third day, it does it again. I'm really getting aggravated. I'm like, oh great. Please tell me. Even my garage door is acting funny, okay? After the third reboot, things start to feel, well, the phone's acting fine now. It's in the other room. I don't care. I don't have my phone with me all day, especially when I'm at home. About ready to cough here, so I may do a little cut. I'm starting to feel more like myself. And I'm thinking a lot about, wow, what the hell? Thought about that documentary. And Zach Bagans and all. We talked about men when experiencing this place, this location that's no longer there, this home, was experiencing, men and women would experience different things. Men especially with their electronic devices like their phone, their equipment, everything was failing. I'm thinking, this is weird. How is this? It's just coincidental, right? Absolutely, it's just coincidental. Well, anyways, like I said earlier, myself and this other YouTuber, we'd sat down. We tried to get this going, for about a good hour. And jokingly, we laughed. Well, wait a minute. What we're about to discuss, didn't the men have issues with their electronic devices? Things were just operating horribly. Everything. We both were on the same page here, myself and the other YouTuber. So we're kind of laughing it off, of course. Well, during the recording, as he has this both captured on his screen, we'd finished. We said our goodbyes. Of course, we're still talking at this point now. We're going on and on. And he unfortunately noticed that the audio was just horrible. It was just horrible audio. So I said, well, we could always do this again if you want to. Maybe, hopefully tomorrow, the next day, or whatever. The equipment's running fine. We could figure out what's going on. So we both yeah, we'll try it again. So we're just basically at this point, one-on-one, hanging out, talking about, the experience of that, documentary again. And just two guys, two buddies hanging out, just, talking. Well, now, at one point, actually right now, the way you're seeing my room is, I decided to rearrange things last night. I just wasn't happy with how certain things were. It was like right behind me, obviously. A lot of us that collect these guys are very familiar with the glass case. Now, granted, you're seeing some reflection now, but there was just something about, because with the camera that I use, and any camera that I use, I need a lot of lighting, and I just was getting a lot of glares. I just wasn't happy. So my case, DTOF glass case, is actually sitting where my camera's at right now, and my desk was over there by the window. And behind me was an open door, which is over here, that goes out to my hallway, and behind it is a bedroom. Well, the other YouTuber, both the doors were open, pretty much like they are right now, which you can't see it. was asking me if that was my bathroom behind me, because inside the frame of that door, it's just completely dark back in there. The bedroom light's off. And I explained, no, that was my bedroom. Very much during that time frame is that discussion, like I said, with that, where he just sees that. This is kind of creepy. You know how it is. You sit around, you talk about ghost stories and whatnot. You get kind of, spooked out about certain things. But now here's something that happened that I wish the camera was still or QuickTime player was still recording, because I'd share with you right now. And unfortunately, like I said, it wasn't recording. Over my left shoulder, which obviously right here you're seeing on the screen now, right? I seen something through the corner of my eye, and I watched it carefully. What was obviously, no, it was my right shoulder. Yes, sorry, it was my right shoulder. Now I think about it, I seen from the back, and I'm trying to do this right now with the camera. Yeah, it started from the back, and it went basically in this direction, kind of upward. I think it was that way. Yeah. So like I said, right after he was asking about, that back area looked kind of creepy with the darkness and all that. Trust me, it's just a hallway into another room. Well, I watched it slowly, an orb go by. Yeah, it was in that direction. I didn't say anything. The other YouTuber had seen it as well on through my camera. And we both, more or less at the same time, did you see that? I mean, that's what we more or less said. I had chills go up and down my spine. I kid you not. Folks, none of this stuff is made up. I didn't just get bored one day and write this stuff down and thought, I'd share this with you. There is a documentary right here on YouTube. The title alone will tell you what this documentary is. You probably have already seen it. Maybe you haven't experienced anything at all. I never expected to experience anything after watching this documentary. Not a zip. I mean, I've already given you enough hints and clues about Zach Bagans has said that this documentary is cursed. They were having issues with their electrical devices. Women were having different issues alone in this documentary. And men, similar situations as well. I'm not going to get into the details about it because I know right now, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to search for this particular documentary on itself. That's your choice of the matter. But I do not encourage anyone to watch it. But like I said, this is nothing against Zach Bagans and what he shot, It's what's going on in this documentary. I warn anyone to watch it, okay? Especially if you are a firm believer like myself. And especially after experiences that I had and what this other YouTuber was experiencing that night as well with our electronic devices, with our computers and everything. I mean, we've got microphones going on, we got cameras going on, we got computers going on, we got lighting going on. There's a lot of electrical devices going on at this point. Now, here it is the next day. This is a Saturday right now, okay? This individual got in touch with me. Told me that he was not going to upload that video. And I'm thinking at first, does it have anything to do with the electrical devices, things just not working properly? But no, it had nothing to do with that. Granted, the audio wasn't that great, but he was going to at least share it because, it's just something that he wanted to do. But then that night, as himself and his family are sleeping, his child, wife, we'll just say that, wife, because I just doing everything I can to protect this individual. Those two heard things in the middle of the night that woke them up that they cannot explain. The best way that the sound, the way he described it to me, those kazoos that we blow, like say, especially New Year's or at parties, that woo, they described that sound being similar to that. Now, the other YouTuber and myself, it's not that we were extremely high-powered religious fanatics, but we both have strong beliefs. After that night that he had, there was no way on earth that he wanted to share that video. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I doing this now? I can't get this out of my mind, mainly. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. And I feel like I owe it to him to at least share something about this to not only his viewers but mine as well, to give you at least the opportunity to either you make the choice to watch it yourself or not. Because how can I not share this with you guys or anyone alone? I've already advised others not, personally advised not to watch this documentary, because I don't want this to affect them the way it's affected. Not that I'm fine, but it's affected this other YouTuber probably a little bit more today than what it affected me 3 weeks ago, because this is affecting his family. It scared them. He's going to be very protective over his family. That's his number one priority. And during one of the, by the way, we're having conversations by sharing of voice messages. During one of the voice messages, as he's telling me what was going on, I could hear something in the background. I didn't pay much attention, but he's describing what was going on. He says, more or less, he says, oh, and for some reason my door just opened on its own. Now, I am like, are you serious? I mean, how is this even possible? Okay, we have an individual that decided to share an experience. In other words, Zach Bagans, whose career is obviously as an investigator, took 3 years to make this documentary. Why? Well, because he's obviously very busy with traveling with Ghost Adventures. How can something, as he states in this documentary, as it being cursed, and I was very skeptical about certain things as I was watching it, but after my own personal experience and knowing someone else that's experiencing something, now granted, I don't have any proof at all whatsoever. Now, you've probably already thought that already if you're watching this video. You're right. I have no proof. None at all whatsoever. I have no proof about the video of last night. It's been deleted. I have no proof of what I experienced weeks ago, not even with my phone. But I feel like, you know what, I've got to talk about this. And maybe I shouldn't talk about this because a lot of people believe that all I'm doing is inviting and encouraging the situation in hand. But I feel like, well, since I've already experienced it, the best way that I can defeat the possibility of what could harm me is by warning others to be very careful. Now, guys, I know I've done a lot of videos in the past of where I've done unboxings of masks, or I've discussed certain things, or I've had even a bad rant back in the day. You know, you live and learn. I'm not perfect. We're all humans. We all experience things. And I've even tried to do a lot of parody, goofy videos because I more or less love to help people laugh. I'm not a comedian. I never have been. But I've always enjoyed helping others laugh. Now, in this particular video, I'm hoping that I'm not rambling off, going off in different directions, confusing you, the viewer, because I know I'm guilty at that. I've even had conversations today that there's times that I have like these wheels spinning in my head, or I'm having 3 things going off, and I tend to, you know, I'm guilty of, you know, going here and going there, and I know I'm guilty at that. It's hard to change that pattern, but I am what I am. Like I've accepted that a long time ago. I guess I'm always visualizing things way too much. You know, how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to do that when it comes to creating content here. So yeah, I guess this is my way of, sure, I didn't have to tell either one of you about this, but it's there. It exists right here on YouTube or Google Play or iTunes or other streaming services, I imagine. In fact, even the Rotten Tomatoes reviews it's like 40%. What is the other one? I always forget the IDMBM, whatever it's called. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like a 5.6 out of 10. I'm not even pulling information up on my screen. I don't want to. I don't want to. I feel like I'm taking a risk already. But like I said, I owe it to myself to be protective over this. And I owe it to others that could possibly stumble across this documentary. Before you get into watching it, I'm just asking you to please think about it first. It's not like in this documentary, they're not going to show gore. There's no blood in it. It's a lot about to do with what Zach Bagans and the rest of the crew are investigating about a home that was once in Gary, Indiana, that's no longer there. It's your choice, folks. You make that decision. But seriously, if anything, before you do decide to watch it, and I know there's other YouTubers that's talked about it. I'm sure they're very skeptical about, did I even say that right? About this particular documentary. But nothing against them. I just don't want to watch it. I don't want to invite any possibilities of more negativity in my life. Now, I believe after sharing my experiences, not with just myself, but with another individual and telling others privately, I believe by at least doing my duties as a YouTuber to be respectful for everyone that's out there, even the individuals that are watching this, that it's going to leave comments. Just be careful about what you're about to watch if you do watch it, okay? Because I don't want that to be invited into your home, around your family, or your friends. I'm probably being more serious now than I ever have before on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, folks. I really appreciate if you are still here watching this video. I'm not putting anything special on here once again. No links in the description box, because I don't want to encourage you guys to go to this documentary. It's like I said, it's so weird. I really do like Zach Bagans a lot. I really do. And I know it had been a tough decision to make to release that documentary. I really do. So Zach, if you're watching this, buddy, I doubt it you will, because you're a very busy man. Please, I do have the highest respect. I guess this is in my way trying to reach out to you as well, because I have thought about wanting to send you an email. So if you do see this, or anyone at the Travel Channel, you guys do have my highest respects. I just want to warn others, and I'm trying to do everything I can to fight back, to avoid fighting, or what is it, the word I am looking for, or the phrase that I'm looking for. You just don't play with fire, folks, because you will get burned. There we go. I guess that's the best way to put it. So yes, just be careful. That's all I ask. Be very careful. And I hope to see you soon with something a little bit. I consider this to be a positive message, but I hope to see you something soon that's definitely in a more positive direction. Without warning you, don't watch this. Alrighty, I gotta go, because I promised myself I was going to the grocery store, and I need coffee creamer. You don't care, do you? Of course you don't. See you guys. Have a good week, a positive week, and no electronic devices will trouble you. See ya. Bye-bye.